enough from DogChamp, but they do pick up the Undying on their end. So this is looking pretty scary from DogChamp. This is a lineup that just wants to run down these lanes, get their levels up fast, melt these towers quick. A bit of a shakeup compared to their lower support picks in Game 1. Like Puck 5 took a while come online. This time around, DogChamp looks like they want to play a faster game. And all we really need to wait for is that Ritsu hero left to counteract that Wraith King.
I do agree with you, though. That Undying pick is going to feel quite nice here for DogChamp. And you can't forget either that Flesh Golem is going to amplify so much of the damage that's coming out of this Outward Devourer. Oh, excuse me, Destroyer now is what they call it. Outward Destroyer. Electronic Boys, they do go into the Nature's Prophet. We have seen a fair bit of this thanks to the new Shards pickup on the NP, which, you know, most people would agree is pretty broken. So the MP does pop out again, and it does give a bit of ratting potential now for Electronic Boys if they so wish throughout this game number 2. But going back to my initial point with DogChamp, John, that Undying is going to be a real pain for the side of Electronic Boys to deal with, especially when you've got this OD dealing all this pure damage, and it's just amplified even further with the Undying Flesh Golem. It's not going to be a very, very nice time at all for Electronic Boys, and especially not this Wraith King.
It's going to be really annoying to fight against that Undying. They do have good ways of at least taking out the Tombstone here. They've got 3 ranged heroes to sort of take out the Tombstone, and they've got the Sprout to give vision in case it's up on like a cliff. So it's not going to be too easy to maximize the Tombstone. It's still going to be annoying in the middle of the big team fights DogChamp wants to bring out. Electronic Boys with the NP do leave, again, a lot more flexibility in who takes core. You can still run NP core, still run the Puck support, but more than likely we're starting to see perhaps our Puck start to stick as a core role. NP and Witch Doctor taking the supports. Still a lot on hand for Electronic Boys to kind of pull out of their pocket here as we go into the picks. DogChamp starting to see some limited pools left for Ritsu. I suppose there's a possibility here for a Lycan, as it has been left completely unbanned. You can still go Lycan with a Shaman, that is insane push, and you can basically run away from a lot of control. Not fun against Puck with Dream Coil, but you can run away from pretty much everything else here on the side of Electronic Boys at least.
I don't know if he cares so much about the Puck this game, though, like, because you've got the OD to just Astral you through the Dream Coil if you need. I even think the Lycan with the Necro Book could be very effective up against the Wraith King. You do get a bit of mana drain there as well, which can be quite nice. But overall, you just run people down with Lycan here for DogChamp, and it could be quite devastating. Still, Electronic Boys, their final pickup is to be picked up before DogChamp. It's a matter of what they want. I still think this should be a core Nature's Prophet in the offlane, if I'm honest, John, and maybe a position 4 Puck, but it is very flexible here for Electronic Boys. They do have about 1 minute and 5 seconds to think about this last pick. I would argue maybe they're lacking a bit of Disable here. Like, you've got this Dream Coil, you've got this Silence out of the Puck, and you've got a Cask, but that's pretty much it. I don't know if I even count the Wraith King stun as a real stun. They do actually bring out the Tusk now, so perhaps that's our position for Tusk. Puck mid lane, Nature's Prophet off lane, seems about right for Electronic Boys. And overall, I don't mind it. I think that is a nice addition to the draft of Electronic Boys.
Yeah, does tie it quite well, gives them a lot of aggression. Look for Electronic Boys to maximize this early presence they've got. You've got the Treants plus tag team is already pretty devastating. I think that's something Electronic Boys needs to work out early. We didn't see them commit too hard for first blood last time. We saw them split the lanes up really fast. I think with NP Tusk and Witch Doctor, you have to find for. You've got to get that early aggression with your level 1 spike. DogChamp, you still have ways to counteract that. Undying will punish a clump up like that, so they should be ready to face off against that early rundown from Electronic Boys, and they do close out their draft with core Io. Ooh, boy, this is spicy.
All right, I mean, I never know what to think about these position 1 Ios. Obviously, we see them often enough that we know it is still very, very powerful. And what is it, John? Have you noticed something?
Yeah, it's a core OD coming out. Ray Lisa is running it mid. So this is going to be interesting. IO plus something like the OD mid is actually devastating. Like, you've got options to run down. Ritsu can just keep healing up Ray Lisa. You get so much value from dishing damage out onto the Wraith King. especially because he's so tanky. You can get a lot of hits on your orb. There's a lot to watch out for here. Electronic Boys, they need to play fast. They need to maximize this Tusk, maximize this Witch Doctor in their laning, also run down the lands with Giant, and just keep that momentum. Saw them do that somewhat early on in game 1. They just need to maintain that movement going through the mid game as well.
All right. See how it all does pan out. Game number 2, of course, Electronic Boys, they need to win this one out to try and force it to a game 3. DogChamp looking to take this game 2 victory and just close out the series ASAP. And I might add, John, I really do like this draft out from DogChamp, and I'm sure you do as well. But it does just seem like the stronger draft here going into this matchup. I think there is going to be a lot of reliance on Speed to have a very good game, as well as Giant on the Nature's Prophet, being able to create a lot of space just by split pushing those side lanes. But if they can't really get that done, and if DogChamp gets a nice lead going for themselves, I could really see it falling apart quite quickly for Eboys.
They really need to ride that early momentum. I'm curious to see as well how Mio handles that OD mid against Raylalisa. Just how that matchup goes, whether or not Raylalisa can maximize this early aggression out with the imprisonment. The puck should still have a steady time in clearing out those waves. So at the least, you're going to have that easy ramp up for Mio, or steady ramp up for Mio. One more thing to consider as well, when you've got the Undying plus IO, like that is just so much heals coming through here for the side of DogChamp, right? Like you've got the Soul Rip with a tether target up. You do not expect a lot of people to die, and you are seeing this duo already come in the lane. Bloody Nine is going to stay around with Ritsu. So once you hit that level 2, level 3 spike with more levels up on the Soul Rip, you're going to have a hard time bursting either of these heroes down.
I mean, it's going to be impossible, quite frankly. Like, I love the Tusk Nature's Prophet off lane, but it is very, very hard when you've got that Soul Rip available. And now Double A, he's going to spawn out Bloody Nine, but it's an Undying. Even with the tag team up, you just don't really want to go into the Undying, if anything. Bloody Nine, I'm sure, will be very, very confident in this lane. Of course, all other lanes are pretty standard as well. You've got Raylalisa. He's going to be in the mid lane up against the puck of Mio. And as we talked about already, Wraith King being played by Speed. He should have the support of his Witch Doctor very, very soon. So Albino Zebra are going to make the rotation up. And they're going to be up against Yaren on the Shaman. And of course, Lukey on the SK. But for now, Electronic Boys grouping up down at that bot lane. So trying to get a very early first blood attempt going for themselves. But it looks like the side of DogChamp have read them like a book. They are just going to sit back, relax, and wait this one out.
It's the smart play. Like, you know, E-Boys are going to try to maximize that early laning. Just stay back, get what you can. They broke a good amount of trees to prevent a lot of juking out here as well. So no surprise movements out you can expect Double A to take because of that early tree line cut on the bot. Really good movement out from Ritsu and Bloody Nine to ensure that they don't get run down too hard early on.
We'll see how it all pans out. Of course, the bot lane, you'd expect a very early tag team out from Double A now with the treants from Giant. You don't really want to aim the IO as Ritsu can just tether away. Bloody Nine will have to be the choice. Even then, it's just not an easy choice, and this IO pick may have really just ruined this off lane of E-Boys. As you do see, they're not really trying to go for a tag team early on. In fact, there it is now onto Bloody Nine, but it does nothing. Just nothing. Now they can just turn back around and just harass Double A out.
Not what you want to see here for Double A. And again, it's down to this pre-line being cut. Like, he has no way of juking into the back lines, no way of walking through and just surprising them with the tag team. And this should allow for a fairly easy ramp up for both Ritsu and Bloody Nine into their level 2 spikes. You've got to watch out for that here from the side of the E-Boys. Does give us some time to look down mid. Raylalisa and Mio, of course, going against each other on that puck OD, as you mentioned. And steady so far. Even in terms of farm trading, Raylalisa does go for the Arcane Orb level 1 with Essence Flux ready, so he's just looking to clear out, get some steady right clicks instead of wave clears with the Astral. And Mio's just going to be fine as well. So it's going to take a little bit more time for this one to cook up. But as long as it keeps steady, I think the OD is going to be very happy with just riding through this earlier start where the OD is not as strong as you'd expect him to.
Yeah, I mean, we see this every game with OD, right? Like, you just want to get that early media hammer, and then you just get back to farming and just be a real nuisance whenever you do run into any kind of hero. So, hot lane, Giant can be forced to TP out early on, but of course, he can just TP back with his level 2, so he should be just fine. Because the last lane we haven't really mentioned too much about is the top lane, where they are actually making a jump right now onto Albino Zebra, and he's copying a lot of damage, but Yaren needs to get the shackles off to really secure the kill, and he does get it. Luki will have another stun in 3 seconds. Albino really has no way out of this. That will be the first blood coming out from our Sand King and Speed. He's trying to fight back and try to harass them back out, but Luki, he's going to be just fine. Of course, going to be very, very happy about that early first blood goal going his way.
Talked about this lane for Eboys being aggressive, but they're the ones being jumped again. Speed just not able to maintain his HP too high. And I love seeing this from DogChamp. They realize they've got this shackle into stun combo. It's a melee safe laner against Sand King, so Caustic does a lot of work. And there's only so much you can expect from Albino Zero. Like, he's got level 2 now with a Cask Maledict, but it's not enough to dissuade these two heroes from getting aggressive early on. So it's a rough time all around once again for Speed.
That it will be. And every other lane is kind of going the way of DogChamp anyway. The mid lane is pretty even, but the bot lane certainly going the way of DogChamp. Ritsu's having a very, very nice time on that IO, and we kind of briefly went over it just earlier on, but there's just not much they can do with this Tusk Nature's Prophet. AA is probably going to be forced to just start rotating on the Tusk and see if he can set up kills across the map. So there is really no point in being down at this bot lane unless you consider being disruptive with those small camp pulls, but that's not really too big of a deal. Giant probably will just give him the heads up to leave very soon.
Yeah, I mean, the NP is under no real threat of dying, although Bloody Nine oversteps a bit.
Well, they get the shards off, and I guess I've cursed Bloody Nine, but no, he gets a soul rip off in time. One more hit, though, will do it, and in fact, they do get the kill. Giant able to pick that one up on the Nature's Prophet. And I really thought there was not going to be any chance in hell of that happening. Not at this stage, but they do make it work with the shards up. Meanwhile, top lane, Luki now going to be in trouble on the Sand King, but he is going to TP out. The Melodic should not be enough in the fountain to kill him off. It's going to be just fine, but he's going to have to make the walk back all the way to the top lane.
It's going to be giving some space after their Shadow Shaman at least. Yaren does get some good levels up, and he can still maintain harassment out onto Speed with his ridiculous right-click damage on the Shaman, so not too bad. Shadow Shaman does want some fast levels up. Want that level 6 in a timely manner, so not a big loss here for Luki to leave the lane. Still, overall, an even start for both teams. 1-1 as we approach the 5-minute mark. A less than 1k lead coming out here for the side of the Eboys. Not massive, but they are making moves again.
Yeah, Bloody Nine. He went for the bounty rune this time around, and he's going to pay for it with his life. He does hold on to the Soul Rib for now, so they could try and make a rotation to help him out, but it looks like he's just going to buy space for the team. Just waste as much time as possible here, and unlike last game where I didn't really like the Puck dying for the bounty, I don't mind this one at all. Bloody Nine, he will definitely just end up dying eventually. Meanwhile, Luki also dies on the Sand King. They do end up getting another kill up at this top lane, this time onto the SK, and it looks like this Wraith King plus Witch Doctor is starting to work out a bit here up at this top lane.
Yeah, it's really down to this laning sentry as well coming out from Eboy. Oh.
Be careful. Does go up pretty far, but Albino wasn't able to close the gap, and now a Shackles is there from Yaren. They do have Luki coming in, but they're not going to go for the burrow out. Just going to give it a harassment there onto the Witch Doctor, maybe setting up for a future gank attempt. Albino, he'll just go back to trying to pull the small camp.
Yeah, they do manage to get the D ward as well in that laning sentry. Unfortunate for Yaren, he was just a little bit off from the second sentry. But you can see how many resources the E-Boys have to toss up here to give Speed a really good time in that lane. He is finding farm, but under tier 1?
Yeah, well, the TPs are coming in. Burrow Strike is there. This was a very optimistic attempt, and they are going to lose Luki again. Onto Yaren now, and Yaren, he tries to go after Speed, but Mio is going to be able to get a double kill on the puck. Now, that was a very optimistic attempt at the life of Speed. especially underneath that tier 1 top tower. Even bot lane now, Bloody Nine's going to find himself in danger once again. They're trying to go onto Giant, but the damage is just kind of insane. They do end up killing off Bloody Nine into Ritsu now, and Ritsu's still trying to run, but the shards not going to lock him in. Be fine. Ritsu going to be able to just walk away, but that's the second time we've seen DogChamp just kind of dive underneath tier 1 towers a bit too early, and they end up paying for it twice.
Good punishment coming out from Eboys. Not the biggest kill to find on that Undying. I think the one thing that you are getting out here from DogChamp is the fact that Lisa now has that Meteor Hammer. So your OD's off to a good start, has overtaken the puck because of the movements Mio has been forced to do. And Lisa now can just farm safely with Astral, can clear out waves with Meteor Hammer. If he's given space mid, can get some good chip damage going as well. So you will have to watch that OD's progression. We haven't seen rotations out from AA to really control that, and that could be an issue down the line despite them finding these side lane kills.
Yeah, I mean, they've got the Dream Call if they want to try and make the play onto Lisa, but he's also got the max Astral, so he could probably just Astral himself through a Dream Call if he so needs. Top lane, Lukey once again going to get taken down here. That Melodic down from Albino Zebra is starting to prove to be very, very powerful up against the Sand King. Meanwhile, bot lane, Bloody Nine dying once again, and now Ritsu going to be chased down. They are going to sprout him up, and now Lisa does make the rotation in with the Meteor Hammer. He does land it. No, the snowball is very nice out from AA. Giant is going to be able to run away now on AA. He might just be the one to die as Lisa is still going with the ulti out, but now Mio with a great rotation in, gets a Dream Call off. The heals are coming in from Ritsu, but it's not going to prove to be enough. But now Yaren comes in with the shackles out onto the puck. He also has a Hex available, and he does commit it, but it's a bit too late. Ritsu maybe expecting it to come out early. It does go down, and now Giant also rotating back in, does kill another, and now Yaren, he's trying to run, but Mio with the ultra kill on the puck. Just great rotations out from this puck this game. And he is really making it look easy now for the side of Electronic Boys.
That was just nasty. Everyone streamed in one by one. Both Eboys and DogChamp TP'd in one by one to get those counter kills, but you have to remember the NP can TP right back in. They're going to find us bot tier 1 as well with no exchange coming out from DogChamp, and all of a sudden, 2-12. A 4K lead coming out for Eboys. They are looking good bouncing back here in game number 2 so far.
There's a lot of catching up to do. I mean, you look at Lukey. He's just trying to farm up that Blink Dagger ASAP, and he's going to be just taking the triangle farm for a bit. Because Ritsu's actually going to hang around with Lukey, trying to farm up his own health with the Dom, and he does actually pick it up now. Looks like they are going to have to play a bit of a slower game here, DogChamp, which may not be too favorable for them, considering you are up against the Wraith King. Mind you, Speed is going back into the Midas build once again on the Wraith King, so not opting to go for the straight Radiance Rush. He does want the Midas. We'll have it up fairly soon. That will mean the Radiance is probably going to be expected around the 17-18 minute mark, maybe slightly earlier, but it is going to take a bit longer, and it might buy enough time for the side of DogChamp to start putting pressure on the Wraith King.
Yeah, I don't think you necessarily want to play slow here if you're Speed. You got to be speedy in this game, as once the IO is up, you know, the AG's timing plus the OD potentially right-clicking you down, there is a lot you have to worry about in the combinations coming out from DogChamp. So Speed has to still hit that 20-minute timer on the Radiances. You see around the map, Ritsu can start to punish with that Dominator up.
Yeah, they got the shackles off with the Shaman. Yaren making it very easy, but now Lukey once again going to be in danger as the stun does fly up. Albino needs a stun, does connect, and now Mio has the Dream Call if he so needs to, but he will actually commit it on the Undying instead, and that's going to mean another kill onto Bloody Nine. That'll be a tombstone as well, going the way of Speed on the Wraith King. Does give him his full Midas up, and they are straight into that top tier 1 tower.
This is exactly what you need to see coming out from the Eboys. They're going to take that objective, finally finding even more off the map. And you're not seeing any movement out from DogChamp to take any of these towers for themselves. They do have the Shaman, but...
He's trying to close the gap, but it looks like they are just well and truly gone. So you need the Blink Dagger on the Sand King to really be able to catch people out once they make those kind of objective-based plays, but Lukey, he does have quite a bit of time to go for that. Oh, you look at Mio, I mean, he's already got the Witch's Blade up, and he's going straight into the Blink Dagger straight after that. He's going to be pretty much all the team fight for his team. Speed. Having a good time, John. 12 minutes in, about 1.1k in the bank account. And he is not being contested or pressured whatsoever.
Yeah, this is exactly what you want from Speed, although down mid.
They are trying to make a play now. Meteor Hammer was there on double A, but now the snowball back in onto Yaren. Can they take this team fight? It is going to be a 1-for-1, but Bloody Nine is also dropping, and he does die just on the last tick of that Death Ward. 2-for-1 trade, definitely not very worthwhile for the side of DogChamp. I think Eboys will still be very happy with that.
They're building up. They're getting some kills under their belt. 4-16. 5k lead still being maintained here. It will take a lot longer for DogChamp to come back in, and you can see the situation. Luki's just getting caught out by Albino Zebra.
He's going to be careful. There was a sentry ward towards the north, but now he's just going to make a run for it. He does not have Sandstorm any further, but he is going to be able to burrow strike out. There's going to be no kind of TP attempt in from Giant either, as it is a bit too deep without vision. I think they are just very happy just securing some more farm on Electronic Boys for now. There's no real rush for them to try and make any form of a play. You still have to be somewhat worried about the IO, of course, as it is a position 1 IO. And Ritsu, he's still going to take a while to get to that level 15 and 20 mark anyway. So you're not really going to see the massive power spikes for a while from this IO.
No, it's going to take a bit longer. You have bought enough space out, or stalled out enough for the side of DogChamp to have blinks up though. So there are options here, and they go.
He's got Reincarnate. Skeletons are out. Yaren's dying to the Skellies. Yeah, it's a lot of damage. They get the stun off as well. Dream Coil is there. They've caught the IO now. Ritsu trying to find a way out of this. They have the OD coming in with the Meteor Hammer, but he actually misses it. Ritsu still dropping low, does go down as Rayla Lisa now trying to still fight this one out. On the sidelines, a Burrow Strike is there, killing off Mio. And Rayla Lisa is going to be able to move his way through the tree line and go back in onto Speed. They don't have the Meteor Hammer, but Luki moving into the backlines again, looking for a Burrow Strike out, but he ran out of mana. Now he has a bit more as they go back onto Speed, but he does have the mana for the Reincarnate. I don't know about this. DogChamp, they may need to back, as there goes the Reincarnate. Meteor Hammer, not going to land once again. Rayla Lisa forced to blink out, but now the snowball is there. From double A, on the tusk, Albino moving in as well, but Giant is going to come in from the sidelines. They're going to wait out the Astral, but Burrow Strike is there from Luki, stopping all the shenanigans here from the side of Electronic Boys, and now they're going to try and turn this one around. They've taken down 2, back onto Speed, who does get Astral up. He needs some help. Meteor Hammer is going to land perfectly this time, and without Reincarnate, he is definitely dead in double A. I'm not sure about that. He wanted to come back in to help out. He's going to get the bounty room, but this is going to cost him his life eventually. And I believe he could have made it out with the bounty had he just backed off, but looks like he wanted to try and save Speed on the Wraith King. Ultimately, that big team fight, it does appear to favor DogChamp.
It's a massive swing for the side of DogChamp. You're starting to see the pieces fall into place here for that IO core. Like, he's keeping his OD alive. Rayla Lisa's starting to hit a bit harder. Is going to rush that BKB next. And Eboys do need to be a bit careful, though.
Big Dream Call in the mid lane, catching out too with the cast up, but a nice Astra Duke out the stun. Luki going to get stunned up a second time, but Sandstorm. It's going to be enough. Dust. Luki, a nice blink away. They know the Dream Coil's down, so they might want to try and make the mid-tier 1 tower push right here, right now. Looks like they are still pretty uncomfortable with trying to force in to the side of Electronic Boys. They're just going to allow them to defend this tier 1 tower. Rest of DogChamp just going to go back and get back to farming. I say that, but they do smoke up now.
Oh? Yeah, they've got that Epicenter ready to go along with the Santee, so a lot of team fight they can pump out here from DogChamp as they will commit for mid. Defense for E-Boys are ready, though.
Oh, Mio barely avoids getting Astral, but now the Epi comes in. Luki, he just jumps straight into the park. Mio's going to die, but they might lose Rayla Lisa. In fact, they do. He does go down as now Yaren has to go for a bit of a run. The Death Ward doing way too much damage, but he does put his own Serpent Wards down. Chance, Yaren does get caught, but where's the follow-up? Not going to be there. They do at least get the deny off on that tier 1 mid tower, but DogChamp probably still going to be pretty satisfied with taking down that tier 1 mid. That'll be enough for them.
It's not the cleanest way to start that fight. Ray Lalisa diving a bit too far back. Really good positioning coming out here from Albino Zebra. Like, he just stays in the tree line. We've seen him do this throughout the entire game. His Death Ward positioning has been on point on his Witch Doctor, so fantastic work so far. Just getting the damage out for team, which is really what you want to see from the Witch Doctor early on. This is buying a lot of space out for Ritsu, though. His Ags is flying in, and this is the starting point of when the IO starts to really dish a lot more damage than you'd expect. He still needs his talents up, but even with just the Ags, that's still a major spike for the IO. So all you're really left waiting for here on DogChamp is that BKB on Ray Lalisa now.
Absolutely. It's the BKB up on the OD and level 20 up on Ritsu, and you are in big trouble if you are Electronic Boys. Of course, DogChamp, they know this. They're more than happy to just buy enough time for Ritsu, so they might just go for another 4-man smoke. They even bother bringing the IO with the Axe? But they will not for now, but he does have the option to relocate if he so wishes. Well, the rest of DogChamp gonna loop in from the backside. Do spot out Electronic Boys here, but how do you initiate? Lisa gonna blink straight in with the Astral, but he's gonna be surrounded. He does not have time for the Meteor Hammer. It was a bit of a bait play from Eboys. They do get the OD. Now the Burrow Strike in from the backside, but Luki, it's not doing enough. Yaren's gone, Bloody Nine's gone as well. They do take down Albino Zebra, but that's pretty much it for now, as they try to take down Speed with this IO, but Ritsu, he's gonna die as well. You see Luki jumping back and with a massive epicenter, but it is not gonna be enough. Not by himself, and he is going to be the 5th hero to die. Speed going to pick up a triple kill on the Wraith King. If that Burrow Strike was a couple seconds earlier, it may have been a different story, but it did take just a bit too long.
They need that BKB. That's the biggest issue here. Ray Lalisa comes in, gets the Astral off, and tries to Meteor Hammer and just dies to all the control that Eboys has. If he had his BKB, not as much of an issue. And we're seeing sort of a change up from how game 1 was. Like, we saw Speed up front last time as well, but this time on the Wraith King, he can afford to lose that first life. He has a second life to play with. It fits into how Eboys takes these fights and takes their positioning in lane. And now you have this Radiant sub 20 minutes for Speed. He still meets his timings despite going for that Midas first. He's going to be rushing that Blink next. So he's going to have a lot of damage and control in these fights. And if you were looking to try to blink in at a certain range, Speed is just going to stop you from finding that angle.
That is true. See if E-Boys want to try and group up and make their own set of plays now, or whether they're happy to just keep the farm up on Speed. Luki does not get the haste rune. It was denied off by Albino Zebra. Don't have a smoke sitting on Albino right now, so it looks like they are just going to protect Speed. There is one on double A, but he's gone for a side lane push. Looks like the rest of DogChamp just going to go up towards the top lane and start pushing in that tier 1 top tower. Not going to be contested either, just going to be able to go down for free. With that, nice speedy creep there for Ritsu. Love to see it.
Yeah, it's almost very similar to what you get with a Slardar when he does pop his sprint, right? Like, that's the one combo we used to see a lot of. IO Slardar, run at you down. Kind of does the same thing. 580 move speed for Ritsu. They just really need to wait out here. They've even got the bullwhip if they want to get some whipping action in. The side of E-Boys, though, are using this time to farm up well. They've still got the 9k lead. They are smoked up. They want to reveal this Radiance on Speed with the Blink. And they've just got all the tools available to start these fights on their terms now.
That they do. Imagine Speed should be the first one to jump in here, followed up by maybe Mio on the puck. They'll run straight into Bloody Nine, which is not really the target they would have liked to find, but they'll have to settle. Speed, he's just going to happily take it. He doesn't mind. But I'd say DogChamp are probably going to be okay with breaking the smoke for that. But there's going to be an immediate smoke up again from E-Boys.
Ooh.
The mid lane, Lisa, he is a much more prioritized kind of target to go for, and now they get the Dream Call off, so he's just gonna die. And the double smoke does work out, as now they go straight into that mid-tier 1 tower.
This is just fantastic movement out from Eboys to just playing along their power spikes really well. A big change up to how game 1 went. They just know that they're strong, they're applying pressure. DogChamp needs a lot more time to really get off to that running start. They've slowed down Lisa's BKB timing. He is just waiting for the recipe. So you will have to watch out. That trick won't work as well once the BKB is up, but there's still some time needed here for DogChamp. They are also building up really nicely on the rest of their cores, like Giant saving up for a Hex. Once you've got that Hex up, the additional control is going to be devastating on this Nature's Prophet. No sign of that Shard coming out. We'll see if Giant kind of dives into it down the line, but of course you've got that potential for a greater treant coming out here as well.
Absolutely. I guess right now he just doesn't feel the need to pick up the shards because they're not really playing that split push style, but I'd say the Hex is pretty darn valuable anyway. Of course, Ritsu's still waiting for that level 20 mark, but in the mid lane they have actually found out Mio. Meanwhile, Bloody Knight does end up dying to the Speed Wraith King, but they've lost their mid puck. Speed, he's lost his first life. He's trapped in the Serpent Wards now of the Shaman. Yaren just trapping him up, but he does make his way out. They'll get the Burrow Strike. Meanwhile, Lisa, that Death Ward doing so much damage, but he'll barely survive. 50 HP. Meanwhile, Speed does kill off Luki. To Ritsu, who still wants to keep going after Albino Zebra. Looks like he is going to be able to eventually kill off this Witch Doctor. They find anything else? Not quite. Still a 10k net worth lead out for Electronic Boys. Even though it seems like DogChamp got more kills, I believe it was a fairly even team fight.
Yeah, it's not as well going for DogChamp as they'd want, even if they find the better end of that stick. Still a massive lead coming out here for Eboys. I mean, slowing down Mio was nice. You really just want to kill off Speed at this point. He is just sliding right through. They get the first life, can't find a second, and with level 18 up, with that max level reincarnation, the cooldown's ridiculous. You really do have to kill him very fast in that second life, or you run the risk of these longer fights just allowing to resurrect again. So we need to see a little bit more damage flying in here from the side of DogChamp, and that's really just down to allowing Lisa to stand in front faster, which again just boils down to this BKB timing on the OD. He's slowing down way too much. Look at that farm distribution. 9k on Lisa, 2k behind Neo after that pretty good start. It's not easy for the OD to catch up and farm, and that does open up the Roshan here as well.
That it does. Eboy's going to get started. Luki needs 5 seconds for Burrow Strike, but he's just going to move his way in and gets a Sandstorm off into a 3-man Burrow now, and that is a big decay out with the OD. Ulti now being dropped, but Yaren, he's going to get focused down by the Death Ward and is going to die. Meanwhile, Double A in Speed moving in, trying to go after the OD, but he's going to be alright for now. It's looking like a decent team fight out for Eboys. They've caught out the OD. Lisa is going to die. Ritsu's still trying to fight back, but there's just nothing he can do at the moment. He's going to try and tether away his Speed. Does lose his first life, but they have surrounded the IO and they are going to be able to kill off the IO. I'd say it's probably about that time to go back into the Roshan pit.
Yep, they've got nothing to be scared of. All they really lose is Tusk, which isn't big at all. A good attempt out from DogChamp. Feels like it could have gone a bit cleaner. Luki coming in a bit early there. The rest of his team still not ready, and that BKB on the OD still not up. So you can't expect as much from Lisa as he's just controlled up. That's the Aegis now on Speed. 3 lives on Raid King. Gonna be hard to take care of that guy, and that should mean an additional resurrection in the middle of these fights as well. So just a lot more issues for DogChamp to have to deal with here.
There is. The game's not really set to get much easier now as well, right? Because the split push is going to be quite painful as the game goes on. See Luki, he does get the deny off in that bottom tier 1, but that's really all he gets out of that bot lane. As well, he might get a gank going his way. Warrior's Punch does fly in. The Melodic didn't really land, but there's your Death Ward out now, and he is surrounded. No way out of this situation. Bit of mispositioning there from Luki. Perhaps just not expecting them to be in his own jungle, but that is generally where you go if you are leading the game as the Dire. DogChamp looking at Mio, but he's going to be just fine. His team is right behind him. Got to do something though. They just can't allow this tier 2 mid tower to go down for free.
No.
Lisa.
They do got the
Media
BKB on Ray Lisa. They've got level 20 up on Ritsu, so the damage can kick in, but they've got no. The push coming out from the NP treants are just too much. Although
They have the shards out, and now, yeah, the Walrus Punch is there. Ray Lisa just can't survive the output of damage here from Eboys, and now Speed just going to move straight into that mid-tier 3 tower. And there is no buyback available on the OD right now, so this is going to be a very, very difficult sort of team fight. Hex is going to be there onto Mio, but there is no follow-up. This push is just so much faster with those greater treants now. Kiluki, Burrow Strike, trying to buy time. Speed has 3 lives available, so he's not really too afraid. Burrow Strike might come in. Speed is just going straight onto Bloody Nine now. They get rid of the Undying, but a nice Burrow Strike epicenter. They kill off Mio on the puck, but is that going to be enough? As Yaren now being chased down by Speed, they'll get another. Albino Zebra, he dies to the Ray Lisa's ultimate. Can they kill off Speed though? They'll astral him up. Giant, he's trying to run away. Speed, he does get stunned up by the Meteor Hammer. That's going to be the secondary life. Ritsu just going to stick around, making sure they have control on the Wraith King, and they do end up getting the third life. So perhaps overextending there on the side of Eboys. Ray Lisa, he does respawn, and the damage output was enough.
This is when the lineup of DogChamp starts to get scary. They're chasing Giant as well.
Blind Burrow Strike perhaps? Lukey? No, he'll spot him out, but that is just as good as Giant is surrounded. He does pop the Nature's Wrath, but yeah, those spirit damages are... It's kind of insane how much damage this thing does at level 20 for Ritsu.
Oh yeah. And stack that on top of the fact that Lukey does have that Veil of Discord, Ritsu's just going to rip right through anyone without a BKB or maybe something else to mitigate that magic damage out on the side of Eboys. And all of a sudden, that lead drops down to just 13k here for Eboys. They are up a lot of objectives, but this is the spike we were waiting for from the side of DogChamp. So BKBs are starting to tick down, giving them a lot of space in the middle of these fights. Ray Lisa now saving for his Ags. And once you've got that, the Astral is just a lot more potent. You can get a lot more stacks up, a lot more mana to drop your Sanities with. Makes it a lot harder to fight into those protected areas. All DogChamp needs to do now is to position themselves better.
Yeah, I mean, it's... You can't go that deep by yourself and not get punished like that. Mio, nice stream call there to set up, and well, that kill is going to get him a little bit closer to having the full Aghanim Scepter up on the puck. It's about 500 gold away. Now that could be a very nice power spike once again for Eboys. I've got to say, John, we are getting to the point of the game where you start to question whether Eboys have done enough to really secure their win in this game, and I'd argue the answer is no so far. Maybe with another big team fight, if they could get a win, could be what they need, but they may feel a bit negative towards doing that as they don't have the Aegis any longer on Speed. They might even just wait out the Abyssal Blade on the Wraith King before they do get started.
Yeah, they do have, I believe, a BKB flying out for Speedo. So they at least have that spell immunity coming in, and that's going to take away the damage of the OD, take away the damage of the IO for at least 10 seconds. A lot of time that will give Speed, as it has given DogChamp as well. So going to be a back and forth with that BKB coming out in Speed. I think even without the Abyssal, this could be a bit of a surprise if DogChamp isn't ready for that Wraith King to have that in his second life.
Certainly so. There's your Hex up now on Giant, and at the same time you got Mio who got the Aghanim Scepter. So some big power spikes now for Eboys. Mid lane, Speed is going to get spotted out, but he's going to be able to blink away. I'd say there's an even scarier spike coming out from DogChamp when Ritsu has that Heart of Tarrasque up. on the IO is, it kind of feels impossible to kill anyone he's tethered to once that heart is there. You don't have anything like an Eye of Skadi up either, on the side of Electronic Boys. No Shivers, no Eye of Skadi, no Spirit Vessel. Nothing in the way of slowing down the healing that is coming out from this IO. That heart with the Paladin Sword is gonna hurt.
It definitely. I think that's something Eboys might have left out a bit, and there's that spike. We're gonna have to see how it works out. They've smoked up. They want to find something with these major pickups, and they just need to go hunting. They don't have any vision outside, though, so it makes it harder to make use of that smoke.
And how is this even remotely balanced? He has 125 HP regen per second on the IO, and oh, this is gonna be ridiculous.
Oh, he's got his level 25 as well. He's got his 25 talent. So
good.
You latch on to the OD, you get some damage out. No, not much right click here from Ritsu, but he's correcting that with a Mjolnir to come out next. So expect that ridiculousness to be in play once you do have at least one right click item up for the IO.
It's gonna be a nice little ball of lightning. Smoke out from Eboys, but they seem to be aware that their jungle may be occupied as we speak. They are heading down towards the bot lane once again to maybe try and force in that bot Rax. Now they do see DogChamp up at the top lane trying to force in that tier 2 top tower. So they are going to try and force a defense out from DogChamp now. DogChamp, they'll have plenty of time to get back and try and defend. See how this one pans out. Treants do move their way in, and Ritsu will be there with the spirits to just kind of clear them out. Eboys, they actually back off, so perhaps seeing the items up on the IO, maybe just not feeling confident up against that. And you can actually see Albino Zebra, he is working towards an Urn of Shadows now at 33 minutes into the game, so I believe they may have just seen that hard and they're like, we're going to need something. We don't have anything to nullify the heals that are coming out.
Yeah, that's going to fix some of those issues up. That was also down to the fact that this ward by the barracks wasn't spotted. It expired now, but that sentry just didn't spot it out right in time. But there was enough time to get that information out. Another smoke, though, from DogChamp. They really do want to maximize the spike. See if they can find the angle.
They are looking very strong. Burrow, Lukey cancels it off. Albino, no, they make the jump on to Mio. Instead, it's a much bigger target. Can they kill him off, though? This puck, he's hard to catch. He does jump towards the south, and now the orb away towards the west of the map to relocate. Ritsu is going to commit it, but it's not going to be on target. Mio, he's still a man on the run. Lincoln's is going to be broken by Lukey, but they still need to find a stun, and they will get the Hex off from Yaren. But look at that bot lane. Giant, he gets the range racks at least. Forcing the rotation in from Yaren. Can he actually defend these racks by himself? Probably not, but double A. He does end up going down to Lukey. While the Raxes are still being taken out. The Ether Shock. He's actually going to have to shackle these creeps and try to slow them down. So those greater treants, they are just so hard to deal with. Eventually Ritsu does come in and clear them out. I guess you do at least get a range Rax, because now Lukey going to get caught out up at the top lane. Astral is going to be there. Bloody Nine moving his way in. They might just go after Albino Zebra, and they will. Rayla Lisa straight in with the Blink Dagger now onto the Witch Doctor. And he does not get the kill yet. The cask is there, but the hammer is dropped. They get a kill, and they save Lukey's life.
Yeah, it's a lot to throw out to save your Sand King, but worthwhile in the end. Also kind of shoves out that lane.
Speed.
We did see Speed solo pushing that, although.
It's gone after Ritsu now, but do they have the damage? Orchid is there. Ritsu going to pop a BKB charge, and yeah, I mean, they just don't have much damage output right now. Speed's going to keep chasing him down, though. He seems to be confident with his ability to take him out eventually. Nope, Ritsu just tethers away again. Speed losing HP.
He's losing so much HP.
He is losing a lot. He's going to die here, and there's plenty of time for his team to back him up. As in the backlines, they've got an Astral on somebody. Reincarnation Life is gone. Ritsu still moving around, but the Astral is going to be there. Meanwhile, Lukey being stunned up, but he's going to be fine. In fact, never mind, he's going to get crit to death. Now there is going to be a big dream call out from Mio. They're going to continue this team fight onto double A, but they've lost Yaren. Back onto Speed, but Ritsu is dropping very low and finally does drop on the IO. They get through the raw HP of the IO, and now Bloody Nine is going to get crit down by speed. Onto Ray Lisa. Tries for the TP out, and he's going to barely make it out. Can they defend this bot Rax without this IO?
I think a buyback's going to have to fly out here. They do immediately buy back on Ritsu. They know they can't drop these objectives. It melts way too fast against an NP plus a Raid King. They do at least force that one resource out. They do have space to clear out some tier 4s for themselves as well on the side of Eboys. A nice item dropping there for speed. I believe that was a leveler. So a lot more damage flying through and, of course, helping you in that push. And really good timing into the Roche as well. Second Roche of the game going to be taken here by Eboys. They don't have the numbers on the side of DogChamp to really come in. Even if they did, Sanities is down for a little bit longer. They're going to have to rush in fast.
Yeah, Giant's got that Ive Skadi now up as well, the Nature's Prophet, so it's going to be very hard for Luki moving his way in, but the silence was there. He's just going to go straight down. Lotus Orb was used preemptively, so he couldn't purge off the silence. Into speed now, trying to go after that Undying and Bloody Nine. He's going to die into Ritsu, who is BKB'd up, but he is going to be able to relocate away back onto Raider Lisa now. BKB forced out by him. This IO is going to need some help as he's making his way back in very, very soon. Yaren there to try and give him a tether target. He shackles up Mio, trying to buy time. But meanwhile, Ray Lisa dying to speed, who comes in from the backside onto Yaren. He gets another onto Ritsu, and that'll be the GG call being made. And Eboys, they successfully drag this series out to a game number 3.
Yep, really well played coming out from Eboys. The adjustment in the draft really enabling them to take this one over. DogChamp going into the core IO, not working out this time. There was some potency there, and we were seeing signs of life with how their game was going early on, but just not quite enough. Timings on Rayla Lisa, not the fastest. The BKB time was stalled out too long, and despite all the regen on hand from Ritsu, he really wasn't tanky enough. Like, he had only the OD to really tether onto for damage, but Rayla Lisa just wasn't dishing out enough on that OD.
With that, John, we are going to move into our third and final game of the series. Of course, it is going to be a 10-minute break before we do get to that third draft. But for now, it's MLP johnxfire. We'll see you all again very, very soon for our final game.